Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 Morning Show. We love featuring artists you should know about on the show, and today we're heading to Ohio to chat with singer-songwriter Aaron Stanley. Aaron's the father of two. He's a daytime sales pro and a nighttime crooner. His debut single, Miss Him Now, came out in September, and just a couple weeks ago, his debut EP, On My Own, was released. We're excited to have Aaron Stanley on the show. It's his first interview ever. We're feeling pretty privileged here. First, Aaron, thanks so much for coming on.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for having me.
Wow. First, congrats on the debut EP. I was listening to it last night. I was blown away. It's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. A lot of hard work put into it, and a lot of time spent, and finally came to fruition, and we were able to release it.
Yeah. Now, your son just turned 21. You're not 25 years old, Aaron. What happened? How did this career all of a sudden start?
Well, I've always been involved with music back from an early age, and I never really did anything with it as far as, commercial success, recording, or anything like that. But I had a health scare back in 21. And once I got through that, I was like, if I'm not going to do it now, I'm never going to do it. So I've got to take a shot, and let's give it a chance.
Yeah, follow your dream. You're a heck of a piano player, so I imagine you've been playing piano for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Played piano, started probably around 5th grade, but I've always tinkered around on it. And I'm not what you'd call a classical pianist. I don't know if I'd call myself a pianist at all, but I told my piano teacher I want to be able to sing and play, and that's all I care about. So that's what he taught me how to do. Yeah,
follow your dreams. Was it your wife? Was it the health scare? What finally was it?
It was the wife. It was some friends. It was the health scare. It really just all kind of came to a head. I started doing TikTok when the 2020 election was going on, because I was just sick of going on Facebook and seeing a bunch of negative stuff all the time, or other social media platforms. And my youngest son, who's now 19, he told me, he's like, maybe you should try TikTok. So he showed me how to use it, because, of course, at my age, we don't know how to use those things without some help of the younger generation, right?
Yeah.
And once I started doing that, things just kind of took off. I got 500 followers, 1,000 followers, and once you get to 1,000, you can start going live. So I did some live shows, had some success there on TikTok, and then through some friends from high school who own some businesses around here, they finally convinced me to come out and start performing live. So actually, December 7th of last year was the first time I had ever gone out and played live at a gig.
Wow. A lot has happened then.
It absolutely, in a short amount of time.
Man, and then where did you record the album?
So I recorded the album in Nashville at my producer's home studio. My producer is Simon Reed, and he's worked with people like Joe Diffie and Sarah Evans and Emily Ann Roberts, and it's just been a phenomenal experience. I didn't want to do a huge big studio and have all that pressure for my first album. So he said, let's just do it at my home studio. I'll get everything ready to go. You can come down and track the vocals. And that was just a really cool experience. Yeah,
because how did you get hooked up with him? A guy from Ohio. Now you're hooking up with people in Nashville.
So there's a website called Sound Better, and anybody that is looking to pursue their music dream, I highly recommend it. You can put on there what your project is. So I put on there that I wanted to do a 6-song EP, and producers reached back out to me. Through one of my TikTok contacts, I actually found out that this producer, Simon Reed, who is originally from Scotland but now resides in Nashville, he also produced a couple of my friend's songs from TikTok. And so I decided to go with him because there was a connection there, and I couldn't have been happier. The consummate professional, and really just kind of guided me through the whole process.
Yeah, wow. Go and check him out. He's at AaronStanleyMusic.com. He's on Facebook. He's on TikTok. Go check out all of his TikTok videos. He's on Instagram. His latest single, Miss Him Now, and the EP is also out now, called On My Own. You're sounding good, Aaron. You lost your voice last week. Was this because your son turned 21? You've been singing too much? What happened?
It's probably a little bit of both, singing too much, and I did 4 shows in consecutive 4 days, and that was a bit too much. You gotta give yourself a break in between there.
Yeah, so he was on vocal rest for a while. So now he's doing good. I saw that you and your son you came out to Colorado. You went to a Broncos game.
We did. My son the son that just turned 21 when he graduated high school. I could have given him, a bunch of cash for his graduation present, but I wanted to do something that, we could make some memories with. He's a Broncos fan, even though they're not having the greatest season. But back then, it was Russell Wilson's first game there, and it was just an exciting time. So we went out and did the whole, Garden of the Gods and the Stanley Hotel and the Broncos game, and went around downtown and all that good stuff, Union Station, all the fun stuff to do in Denver.
Oh yeah, all the tourist traps. I mean, because are you a Browns fan? What's your team in Ohio?
So, growing up in a house with a dad that's a Steelers fan, I catch a lot of crap from being a Steelers fan in Ohio, but I am a Steelers fan.
Nice, me too. So that's good. But
I will tell you, I always, when the Browns aren't playing the Steelers, though, I will always root for them because I feel so bad.
Yeah, well, they're doing better this year, but
they are doing better now, though. That's
still
for sure.
The Browns. It still goes bad sometime. But yeah, you mentioned you were playing shows. You just played a gig. Did you do the Unhitched Brewing Company this last weekend?
Yes, I was able to make that one. Really cool place in Louisville, Ohio. Looks like Louisville, but it's pronounced Louisville up here in the Northeast. And really great place. Their original chef that opened up there was actually on Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, nice.
And he has since moved on to some other stuff, but the owner, Adam, has kept the menu just phenomenal. The beer's great. The atmosphere is fantastic. So if you're ever in Louisville, Ohio, definitely check that out. Yeah,
it was funny when I was researching you. I was like, wow, does he live in Kentucky? He's playing in Louisville. I was like, oh, no, that's Louisville, Ohio. Wrong town.
Absolutely.
So, Aaron, this is your first interview ever. I mean, I'm always out looking for indie artists. You're doing all of this on your own. So what's the plan? How do we get Aaron Stanley out there to the world?
The only thing I can ask, and I ask this all the time, is, with streaming these days, it's free. You've already got an account. So stream my music as much as possible. If you have a radio station or a connection, ask them to play any of the songs on there. The song that probably means the most to me is Miss Him Now. I wrote it about my grandpa who passed away when I was 13, and I wanted a way to honor him, and I felt like this was probably the best way. But when I wrote it, I wanted to write something that, people could relate with. So I tell everybody all the time, if you've ever had a dad, an uncle, a grandpa that has taught you everything you know, listen to the song and you will relate with it and you will like it.
Yeah, you're going to hear it coming up here soon. I was wondering if it was about your dad or your grandpa or who it was about.
It was really about my grandpa, but like I said, it could be for anybody. I wanted it relatable. When you're a songwriter, you've got to write a song that means something to you, because if you don't have the emotion when you're singing it, people aren't going to connect with it. But then you also have to make it relatable to everybody that's going to be listening to it. And I don't know many people that haven't had some figure in their life, grandpa, uncle, or dad, that has helped them through tough times and taught them the things that they need to know about life.
Yeah, I like the Friday Night Bo and Luke reference.
Yeah, I was hoping a lot of people would get that. I guess maybe you've got to be a certain generation to do it. But, back then, I actually did research when I was writing the song to make sure, okay, was it on Friday nights? Because I feel like I remember, obviously I was young when that happened, but it was Friday nights, and it, premiered for, I guess like late 70s, early 80s on Friday nights. And, I made a reference to a radio station, 105.1, and we have several of them here in the Ohio area. But that was the only one that was on that we could listen to back in those days.
Yeah. Dukes of Hazzard on Friday night. What was it? Love Boat was like Saturday or Friday night. I don't know
Yeah,
if it was
yeah. I
Friday
think
night.
Love Boat was Saturday night. Yeah.
But yeah, I heard that and I was like, oh yeah, I know what he's talking about because I'm old, just like you, Aaron. We're not 25 anymore. But
We're not.
what's going on with your TikToks? Because you've been doing a lot of collaborations. You've been doing a lot of stuff with the Soul Shower. You did Even Flow with. Where are you meeting these people on TikTok? How are you doing this?
Yeah, honestly, I started doing what they call duets on TikTok, where basically just an artist or a fellow TikToker will, post just an instrumental part of a song. Because there's a lot of people that can play guitar, but they can't sing. There's a lot of people that can sing, but they can't play guitar, or piano or drums or whatever. And eventually what you have is you end up having a whole band video with a drummer, a guitarist, a keyboardist, a singer, a bassist, and it's a lot of fun. And I've gotten to do a lot of duets with, celebrities, Kenny Chesney, Tim McGraw. I've done stuff from Lionel Richie and Richard Marx. And during the pandemic, it was really cool because a lot of these guys weren't out touring and they weren't recording a lot. So a lot of them spent some time on social media. So I got some feedback from artists like Dan and Shay. Lionel Richie did, he's watched a few of my videos, and it's just really cool. There's a list of about 50 of them that have watched my videos, but, I'm not going to sit here and list all of them, but, it was a really, really cool experience to see that they took 30 seconds out of their day to watch one of the videos that I did.
Well, yeah, and you've done them, all over the place. Everybody, you just named a few, but I had some of them listed on here. Waylon Jennings, Ray Charles, Elton John, Frank Sinatra, Adele, Aerosmith, Styx, Pearl Jam. Yeah, you did The Sound of Silence. He's done all kinds of them, so go and check out his TikTok. You can see all of his videos on there. I told you before we came on, Leora, who's our secretary here, she looks up some of my guests for me. She gave you a very good compliment. She said you were the best singer that she's ever heard.
Well, thank you so much to her for saying that. Really, really appreciate that.
I think she was blown away by your range or how many different people you can cover.
Yeah, when I started doing this, when I was doing the lives, that's really what helped me, because I would have people just come in and name a song and I would play it. If I knew it, I would play it right away. If I didn't know it, I would either listen to it and learn it right then, or I would learn it for the next live, and then that would keep people coming back. And then when you go out and play live at places, I could just play country, but that would pigeonhole me into just certain venues to be able to play. And being able to play everything from Elton John and Billy Joel to Waylon Jennings to Metallica to Pearl Jam, it really keeps everybody engaged the whole time. Because just when they get up to leave, they're like, oh, wait a second. And I apologize for the noise. That was my son starting his car.
You're fine.
But it's really kept people, in their seats the whole time. People that would normally leave in, 5 minutes after they're done eating end up staying for an extra 30 or 40 minutes. So it's really nice to be able to connect with those people and get to know them and play some of their favorite songs.
Yeah, because you never know what's coming when you go see him live. Go and check out his website, AaronStanleyMusic.org. He's got all of his dates listed on there. He's also on Facebook. Go follow him on YouTube, or go follow him on TikTok. You can also go to YouTube and check out the new album, On My Own. It is out now. I'm listening to the album. The song Without Your Love. This is a great song. And then who's shredding on the guitar?
So that's my producer, Simon Reed. He's not just a producer. He's a phenomenal instrumentalist. He can play multiple instruments. And he did, I believe, 95% of everything you hear on that album.
Wow. He did
So
a great job.
If you are interested in getting something done, if you are an artist out there and just starting out, he is phenomenal. He guides you every step of the way. It's a reasonable price. You just got to save up a little bit of money. And what the process that we did is he had everything done. We did multiple versions of every song. And then I went down to Nashville, and I actually took my younger son with me, who, on the song On My Own, got to play guitar a little bit. And then on the song Can't Make It, he got to do vocals at the end, some background vocals at the end.
Oh, cool. Getting everybody involved. I mean, I saw your mom is posting stuff or, reposting stuff. What does your family think of all of this that's happening in your life all of a sudden?
They're excited and they're mad I didn't do it earlier.
Yeah, well, that's because it's going well.
Right, it is, and I think it was just the right time for me. I think I probably would have been too nervous and not really interested to keep going back and doing it all the time if I didn't have all the time to practice. People talk bad about TikTok sometimes, but I'll tell you what, it really shot me into an area that I wanted to do this, and I wanted to go out into the public and share my talent out there with people, and it's been received well. So I'll just keep going and keep enjoying it. Really excited to see what the future holds.
Well, and you're in sales, so I mean, I've been in sales. You get beat up, when you're in sales. I think being in sales, being more mature, being older, makes a huge difference. We're not in here to make $1 million, or this isn't your life, or not yet anyway. Right. So it makes a huge difference when you're trying to get going. Absolutely,
yeah. Anybody that's ever done sales knows it definitely does beat you up pretty good. I did it for 18 and a half years with one company, and now I just started with a new company in January of this year, and it's definitely been a welcome change. I work at home. It's given me a little bit more freedom. You don't have that hour drive in the morning and the hour drive at night where you come home and you just want to sit in a chair and go to sleep for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So what's next? We're going to make a video? We're going to keep releasing singles? What's the plan?
I'm going to work on a couple videos for this album, all while starting to write another album. I do some praise and worship music, so I really want to lean towards writing some of those songs. And I don't know if it'll be a full praise and worship album that I do next, a country album that I do next, a rock album. I don't know. I can do multiple genres. I just want to keep writing as many as I can. I've only written the 5 songs that I have. I wrote 3 of them with my buddy Greg, and then I wrote 2 of them on my own, and then obviously I put a cover of The Dance by Tony Arata on this one. And those are really the only songs that I've written, but since then I've written 2 or 3 more, and I've connected with a couple people on TikTok, and with the power of technology, you can do Zoom meetings or Teams meetings or FaceTime, and you can do co-writes so easily with people. And it's helped me write. I think I've written 3 songs in the last month and a half. So I've written 5 songs my entire life, and then 3 songs in the last month and a half. So it's exciting to connect with these new people and start writing.
Yeah, he's just beginning. Go and check him out, AaronStanleyMusic.org. The brand new EP, On My Own, is out now, and so is the single Miss Him Now. Well, here it is. Aaron, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And when he's huge, you can say you heard him first right here on KIX 96.5. It's Aaron Stanley, Miss Him Now. It's KIX.